Hi everyone, welcome to your Monday Pilates session. I hope you're all really well and had a great weekend and enjoyed whatever you did. Today we've got a really gorgeous session which is going to involve lots of lying down, which is great, but also really strengthening. So we're going to go straight into our series of 5 again, practice the hundreds, as well as getting some release around our shoulders and our hips before finishing in some extension work to really help counterbalance all those hours that we spent flexed forward. As ever, please listen to your bodies and don't do anything that you don't think is right for you. If you have any questions, please do let me know and I'll do my best to answer them as well. Equipment wise, we're going to need our mats. If you have a band handy, that would be great. Make sure it's not weighed down by anything like weights. And if you want to, you can have your pair of hand weights as well, because there are some of these exercises that we can make a little bit more intense by the addition of some small hand weights. Okay, I'm going to be here this Thursday even as well, so please let me know if you'd like to join in the session then. And as ever, I'll be here on Mondays throughout August, including Bank Holiday Monday as well. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to start lying down in our relaxation position. So make sure that you have a cushion underneath your head just to give you a little bit of height if you need it. I'm going to lengthen ourselves down onto the floor into our relaxation position. So coming down onto the floor and finding that lovely space where your head, your breastbone and your pubic bone is in one long line. Take your feet to hip distance apart and just check to see the positioning of your hips. Make sure you've got both sides of your waist really nice and long. You're not hitching one side up or the other. Lengthening your arms down by your sides. And let's start with a few little pelvic rock backs to find our neutral spine and pelvis. So keeping your knees nice and strong, we're going to breathe in. And as you breathe out, rock back to imprint our spine into the floor. And inhale to arch away. Going again, just nice and gently. It's a really lovely way to start the class. Just getting your body moving gently. We've always got to go through our warm-up before we go into the big exercises. And even though you might think that you can skip it, actually these warm-ups provide really good aligning exercises to help our body feel balanced and strong. Good. So we're just going to rock back and arch away. And go a couple more times in your own time. Breathing out and in and out and in. Good. Setting yourself up somewhere halfway in between and floating your arms up so that your wrists are balanced directly over your shoulders, fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling. Keep your neutral spine and pelvis now. Keep your knees really strong. We're going to go into some single arm drops. So breathing in and breathing out. So reach the arm up and bring it back down. Going on the other side, breathing out and in, out and in. Feeling how the back of your shoulders wraps around the back of your rib cage. Really nice to get that movement through. And ask yourself if you're already beginning to tense your jaw or hold your neck in a funny way. It's really easy to hold tension in parts of your body when you're moving other parts. We're going to just try and keep everything nice and relaxed though. Good, let's go again. And then let's go both arms at the same time. Check to see what's going on through your pelvis and spine. Make sure you haven't lost that lovely neutral position. And we'll go both arms reaching up and down. Breathing out and in. Out and in. Good, going a few more times. Every time you move, just see if you can reach slightly further and make the movement smoother. And it's completely normal to feel imbalances in your body. You might have one side that's different from the other, and that's completely normal. 2 more like this, breathing out and in. And our final one, out and in. And let's bring our arms all the way down. Super. Placing your hands on your hip bones now. We're going to do a really nice knee opening to get some movement through our hips and get them nice and warm. So starting with your feet apart, let's breathe in. And breathing out, keep your hips and pelvis completely still as you open one leg out to the side. And inhale to draw back up. Going on the other side, breathing out, toe muscles coming in to support you, making sure you're not letting that pelvis drop open. Going again, breathing out. And in. out to open, in to return. Good. So trying to get a little bit more movement through now, warming your body up. Remembering these toe muscles are coming in and down as you open the leg out. And again, good. Using your hands to give you feedback rather than to anchor your hips. And again, opening out and coming back through. Wonderful. Okay, moving into some arm circles now. Really gorgeous way to get more movement through the shoulder joints. We're going to start in normal arm circles, then we're going to add in our weights just to see how that changes the dynamic of the exercise. So arms lengthen down by your side. We're keeping lots of energy. So from shoulder to your fingers, really reach through rather than having like flabby octopus arms, keeping the arm really nice and long. So breathing in, and as we breathe out, let's float those arms all the way up over our shoulders, back towards the floor behind us, toe muscles coming in. And inhale, and circle your arms around. We're going to do a few of these non-weighted first of all. So just be careful, think about what's going on, keeping your rib cage down. So as you take your arms up and back, it's really easy to let your rib cage pop up from the floor and lose that neutral alignment. So we're going to keep our rib cage down, toe muscles switch on to support you, and getting lots of lovely movement through that shoulder joint as much as suits you. I know some of you have got shoulder injuries and problems going on, so we're going to keep it really smooth and just work to your own body. Breathing out and into super round. We're going to do one more in this direction, so we've done 6 in this direction. Breathing out and into circle round. Good. Arms bound by your side. We're going to go the opposite way now. So let's breathe in to prepare our bodies, and breathing out. Roll your arms around you along the floor, and inhale to bring them back up and over. Again, just think about how this affects the rest of your body. Reaching out and round, up and over. And again, circling around, reaching through your fingers. You might feel some areas of tension that aren't here when you go the other way. Circling, reaching up and over. And 2 more. Breathing out to circle. In to come up and over. Good. Still keep that lovely neutral spine and pelvis. And 1 more. And bring your arms up and over. Well done. Okay, so now we're going to add in the hand weights. All those bottles of water, if you use those instead. So we're just going to do a few in each way, just to show how different it feels when you've got the addition of the weights on the long levers at your arms. So finding that neutral spine and pelvis once again. Arms nice and long. Breathing in, and this time holding your weights. Breathing out to reach up and over. Try to resist the pull of gravity down towards the ground. Make sure you don't let your rib cage pop up. And inhale to circle around. And for me, that feels a lot harder. And these are only light weights as well. So work your own pace. If this is too much, get rid of the weights. But try and keep that beautiful alignment. So your arms are going directly up and over your shoulders, back towards the floor behind you. Reaching around. Oh. And 1 more time like this. Breathing out, up and over. And circling around. Good. Okay, let's go the other way. So you can remember this, that next time when we do arm circles, you don't have to do the normal arm circles. You can always add in the weights and add on a little bit more resistance and effort. Whew, this is actually really hard work. Breathing out, circling around, and bring your arms up and over. And 1 more time. Circling around, breathing out, or breathing in, arms up and over, and bring them down by your sides. Get rid of the weights. Take your arms nice and long. Double check your neutral spine and pelvis. We're going to go into some really lovely single leg slides to get movement through your hips. So in our single leg slides, normally we reach away with our toe. This time we're going to reach away with our heel, and hopefully you're going to feel really lovely hamstring stretch down the back of your leg. So place your hands on your hip bones for this one, just to make sure that you're not wobbling from side to side or backwards and forwards. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, slide away, leading with your heel. Pressing through your heel and feel that lovely stretch at the side of the back of your leg. And inhale to come back. Let's go on the other side. Breathing out, leading with your heel, reaching away, drawing back in. Breathing out to press, in to return. Out to slide and press, in to return. Good, let's keep going. Breathing out, and in. Breathing out, good. So reaching through that heel, feel that stretch down the back of your calf, maybe even into the Achilles heel. And coming in, good. And again, slide and return. And our last one, breathing out, keeping your hips nice and still, really opening out through the front of that hip. And come back in, well done. Getting rid of your cushion. And then clasp our hands behind our head and make that basket for our head to rest in. So your head is super heavy in your hands. Elbows are shooting it towards the ceiling. We're going to go into that curl up, nodding our chin and then lifting up one bone at a time. It's really easy in this curl up to try and kind of almost do it as one big lump. But we're going to try and peel our spine off the floor, beginning with the very top vertebrae and then coming up one at a time. So think about your rib cage coming in and sliding down towards your hips. So as you breathe out, your rib cage should be able to come together more and slide down and then part as you come down. So it's a really smooth movement. So hands go behind your head, elbows up towards the ceiling, breathing in. As you breathe out, nod your chin, toe muscles switch on, sliding your ribs down towards your hips, holding here. Lengthening back down with control. Going again, breathing out, rolling all the way up, gaze again between your knees. Lengthening back down one bone at a time. Breathing out. And in. Good. Asking yourself what's going on with your knees now and thinking about the sequential movement of your spine. We're just prepping our spine ready for that series of 5 that we're going to do later on. So we've got one more like this. Breathing out and in. Okay, so now we're going to combine that with our leg slide. So it's a combined movement, getting our coordination and our alignment spot on. So this time, as you breathe out, so you're going to automatically, simultaneously, slide one leg away, really opening out through the front of that hip and making sure your hips haven't sunk from one side to the other. Drawing that leg back in as you come back. Let's go on the other side now. Breathing out to lift up and simultaneously sliding that leg away, opening through the front of your hip. And coming back in. Breathing out, feeling your ribs slide down towards your hips. This internal corset switching on as well. So make sure your toe muscles are coming down and in rather than up and out. And again, sliding away. Coming back in, good. And we're going to do one more on each side after this one. Keep your head heavy in your hands to avoid any strain on the neck. Make sure you fully extend through that leg. So really reaching through that leg. Coming back in. And our last one. Breathing out. And coming in. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to switch it up now in preparation for our crisscross that we're going to do a little bit later on. We're going to turn this into an oblique leg slide. So it's exactly the same, but we're doing an oblique curl up. So we'll practice the oblique curl up first. As we breathe out, we come up and then mid-back level for women, it's about where your bra strap is. We're going to twist to the side. So keeping your waist long, you're just adding in a rotation back to center and coming down. So we breathe out to come up and twist. Inhale to come back down. So working on the external and the internal obliques now. The relationship between your head and your arms stays exactly the same. Breathing out and twist. Back in and down. Good, and going in, breathing out and out, in and in, and our last one, out and out, in and come down. And hopefully you should have really felt something going on around your midsection here. Well done if you did. Okay, so now let's get ready for our 100s. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit more, but actually now we're going to do a hamstring stretch first of all, just to get our legs working. So we don't usually do this at this point in the class. But if, like me, you've been doing lots of walking or running this weekend, it's really nice to get that hamstring stretch in. So lifting one leg up, making sure it's in the band, so you can choose to use the band or not. Don't worry about the alignment of the rest of your body. Just try and bring your legs into a hamstring stretch. And on every breath out, try and pull that leg in ever so slightly further towards you. So if you can't get your leg up as high as I can, this isn't actually very high. So some people can really take it right back towards their bodies. Don't worry, it's really personal and depends on what you've been doing throughout the week, how your pelvis is designed as well. So even if you're like a 45 degrees with your leg, that's great. Just find a position where you can feel a hamstring stretch down the back of your legs. Try and keep that leg extended, but not completely like popped and locked out. Good. Bring the leg down, swap the other leg over, and start bringing that leg in. You might find that you've got slight imbalances between both of your legs, and as normal, that's completely fine. Bring that leg in, trying to really get that lovely stretch down the back of your leg. Couple more breaths here. Fold that knee back in, pop the band to one side now. And we're going to get ready for 100s. So we're going in quite hard already. So choose a position that suits you. You can have your head on the floor. We are taking our arms down by our legs. I don't know why I did that. Ignore that. We have our feet and knees hip distance apart, arms extended, arms at mid-thigh level. Now, when we do our 100s, the pulsing comes from our shoulders. So rather than waggly arms, we have really, really strong active arms. And we're pulsing for 5 breaths in and 5 breaths out. You're going to keep that pulse really neat. So rather than making it long and big, we're going to keep it nice and neat so there's no frantic pulsing along. Okay, so that is the movement of our arms. You can come into a curl up to do this. So this is your first position. You come into a curl up and pulse here. Keep your core muscles really strong to help you stay in this position. That's position number 1. Remember, if you need to, you can place your head down at any time onto the floor and just keep pulsing through your arms. It's best to do that to avoid neck strain, and then you can build up bit at a time, okay? So maybe next time you can do longer with your head up and then take it down. So that was position 1. Position 2, we're going to come into a double knee fold. Heels connected, knees hip distance apart in our curl up. Position 2. Position 3, extend your legs to about 45 degrees. And if you really want to push yourself today, you can go into some kind of scissor legs. Keeping your legs nice and long. So the option is yours. I'm going to count you through the 100s. If you need to rest at any time, just lay down and rest. If you prefer to sit this one out and just breathe and practice your lateral breathing, you place your hands on your rib cage. And when you breathe in, really try and fill your lungs full of air. And then as you breathe out, closing your lungs back down. So the option is yours. So let's come into our position to start with. You can change position at any time. Just listen to your body and don't try and push yourself past the point of comfort. So we're going to come up. We're going to breathe in to prepare and breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5 and in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5 and in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5 and in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5 and in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5 and in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5 and in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5 and in. 2, 3, 4, 5. out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still your arms, take your head down, hug your knees in, one at a time, and give yourself a little rock from side to side. Well done. Hopefully, you found that a little bit easier than the first time we started. So it's a really good way to see the progression in your strength, stamina, breath control, and coordination as well. So I'd love to hear how you got on, so do let me know. Okay, so we're going to move into our series of 5, but first of all, let's just release any tension through our bodies. So let's bring our knees and our feet together, take our arms slightly wider, and we're going to go into some little head twists to release any tension in our necks. So turn your head from side to side, really getting lots of movement through there. So turn your head as far as feels comfortable for you. Rolling to the side, back through, and over. Really smoothly, looking from side to side. And coming back to center. Now let's get some movement through our hips and our waist. So feet and knees glued together. Breathing in and breathing out. Let your knees go to one side, rotating through your spine. Keep your shoulder and your nose pointing it towards the ceiling. So your shoulders down. So just twisting through our waist, getting movement at our hips as well. Really nice to give your internal organs a little bit of a massage as well, getting them moving. Going to the side and coming back through to center. Take your legs and feet back to hip distance apart once again. Let's go straight into our series of 5. So we're going to start with our single leg stretch. Now you can have your head down, or you can come into that curl up or swap halfway through. Start position, we're in our neutral spine and pelvis, arms lengthened out by our sides. Bring our legs in one at a time, heels together, knees apart. Lengthen your arms up so that your hands are either side of your knees, and come into curl up, toe muscles engaged. Gaze going straight between your legs towards your heels, breathing in. And as you breathe out, let's straighten one leg away and use your hands to draw the opposite knee in. Keep your elbows wide, keep that little tuck of your chin. Breathing out to stretch, into swap, out to stretch, into swap, and out to stretch. Really reaching through your toes. Keeping a really strong body that isn't moving at all. So try to make sure that the only things moving are your limbs. We're going to do one more on each side. And then bring your legs back in. Take your head down. Rest here. Turn your head from side to side if you need to before we go into our double leg stretch. So our start position again. We're coming into that double knee fold. Heels together, knees hip distance apart. Arms extended, this time palms facing down. Come into curl up, gaze going to your knees. Okay, so our start position. As we breathe in, we lengthen our legs away from us as we take our arms back. Connect your inner thighs and exhale, circle your arms around and bring your knees back in. Place your head down if you need to and listen to your spine. If you feel that your spine is complaining and you're beginning to arch away from the floor, just be really careful. You can take your legs higher rather than lower. Really requires a lot of spine strength, a lot of core strength. So 2 more like this. We're going to try and do 6 of each exercise. If your head starts to strain, place your head down, come back down and rest here. Well done. Okay, so our next one is our single straight leg stretch. Now remember, because this class is on the YouTube thing, if you want to do this again at any time, you can find the right place and go through it, or you can pause it, or you can even rewind and try and do it again. So if I'm going a little bit fast, don't worry, you can do it again at your own time. So for our single straight leg stretch, find that neutral spine and pelvis once more. Extend one leg away from you and take the other leg up towards the ceiling. Come into curl up and lightly hold that extended leg either side of your knee. So I'm going to breathe in here And as we breathe out, we're going to swap our legs over, trying to keep our legs long and our toes pointed. And go again, breathing out to pull that leg in. Inhale to swap, exhale to straighten. Inhale to swap, exhale to straighten. Remember, take your head down at any point. Keep your torso as still as possible. So toes is coming in and down. Good. Swapping over. And again, good. 2 more times. And our last one. Bring your knees in, place your head down, turn from side to side and relax here. Whoa, okay, so moving into our double straight leg lift and lower. We're going to use our bands for this one to protect our spines. So take your band or your pair of tights and wrap it around your feet. So legs extended, hands holding the band, both sides, toe muscles working. You're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, so we're going to lower those legs down, supporting ourselves with the band and bring them back up. Now, if you can do this without the band, that's great. But the band is really great to help you build the strength and train your muscles. So pressing your feet to the band, using the band to support you, coming back up. If you want to try without the band, let go. And you can do this as long as you make sure that your ribs and your spine don't pop up from the floor. So you need a lot of strength here. So use the band as much as you need to. We're going to do one more. Bring our legs up. Fold them back in. And again, rest here. Placing your feet back down onto the floor. We've got one more, which is our crisscross. So take your hands behind your head once again. Take your legs up into double knee fold. Connect your heels. Take your knees hip distance apart. Come into curl up. This is our start position. Breathing in. Breathing out. Stretch one leg away. As you twist to the opposite side, keep that lovely framework of your head in your hands. Inhale back to center. Exhale to twist. So you are straightening one leg away. Twisting to the other side. Doing that oblique twist just like we've practiced first thing in the class. Back to center and extend. Inhale and exhale. Good. One more time to each side. Coming back through. Breathing out. Back to center. Take your head down. Bring your knees in. And relax, breathing in and out. Good, well done. Okay, we're going to keep hold of both knees and do a lovely little back massage. So just gently drawing your knees in, out to the side, away and round. So you're rocking on the back of your sacrum. Really nice and smoothly. And going the other way. Placing your feet back down once again. Getting rid of the band if it is in your way. And let's take our feet slightly wider than hip distance apart. Find that lovely alignment from your nose to your breastbone to your pubic bone, arms nice and wide. And we'll go into a wide-legged hip roll. Really nice to release any tension around your middle after that series of 5. And also to get gorgeous move through your hips. So you should find that you can really do a lovely long kind of swishing movement, but keep your waist, both sides of your waist, really long. Back through and over. Good. One more time to each side here. And come back through to center. Knees and feet hip distance apart. Grab your weights. Take them in your hands. Find that neutral spine. Use that cushion back underneath your head if you need it. And we're going to go into a few little ribcage closures. So arms really long, breathing in. Breathing out, reaching up and back. And back up and down by your sides. Toe muscles switching on as you reach your arms up and back again. Just a nice way to get movement through your shoulders after all that flexion that we've done for the series of 5. One more like this. Reaching your arms up and back. And bring your arms back up and down by our sides, rolling onto your sides and coming up to sitting. We are halfway through our class, so take a few breaths if you need to, have a little drink. And remember, you can pause the class here and restart it at a time that suits you. Or you can do the class as one big, lovely hour-long session. I'm losing it today. Okay, so I'm going to come back down onto the mat to do some more lying work and then coming up into sitting, pelvic rock backs and some extension. So today's class is really core heavy. So our series of 5 that we did is a work in progress. It's really okay not to get it completely perfect straight away. It's something that we work towards. So every time you do it, try to make sure that your movements are getting a little bit more precise, that you know what you're doing. And as you begin to get more familiar, you should be able to refine them a bit more. So it's something that we're going to be working on throughout the autumn as well. So enjoy that. Okay, so we're going to come back down onto the floor. I'm going to work into some lovely knee circles and then some leg circles as well. So this is great for releasing any tension around your hips, through your lumbar spine as well. And then with the leg circles, we can use the band to help support us, just like in those double leg lowers and lifts. And then we can progress to using it without the band and seeing how that feels. So first of all, into those knee circles, going to lie down flat on the floor, lengthen one leg away from you, and fold the other knee in. We're going to try and keep a little bit of movement of space in between our calf and our thigh. It's really easy to let that drop down, but we're going to have a little bit of length through that leg. So you can use your hands to guide you if you want to. What we're going to try and do is draw a circle with our knee. We're going to draw that knee in, take it over the midline of our bodies, away, out, and in again. So don't worry about what the rest of your pelvis is doing. Let that pelvis move, and you should find that you'll get a little bit more movement at that knee. Use your arms wide to anchor you, and your breathing should be just nice and rhythmical and deep. Don't worry about a particular breath pattern here. So we're going to circle around. This is really strengthening for that hip joint. So I know you're all okay with your hips, I think. You should be, yeah. And so, again, do what suits you best. Don't try and push it if that's not right for you. So circling around, feeling these toe muscles really working. So the hips, the muscles in the hips are really connected to all that corset around your lumbar spine, into your core muscles. So it's a really great way of getting these working and switched on. So we're going to do 6 in one direction and we're going to do 6 in the other. Remember, you can use your hands to guide your knee if you want to. Because of the position of your knee, it's actually more movement if you put your hand on the floor. So circling around. You might feel that as you bring that knee across and in, these muscles in your middle contract, which is what we're aiming for. So we're getting a really controlled movement. Good. And then lengthen that leg away from you. And just take a few breaths to see if they feel any different. So take your legs away, let your feet flop to the side, then just glance up to see if your feet are different. So for me, my right foot is now going further to the side because it's a lot looser, and my left toes are pointing further up towards the ceiling. So it's just really interesting to see if there's any difference for you. We're going to go on the other leg now. So fold that knee in. Don't worry about the position of your pelvis. You're going to let that move in response to what that leg is doing, and start circling around as much as you can. And again, it's just interesting to see whether there are any differences or imbalances between both sides of your body. Circling around. Really nice to give the back of your spine a little massage as well. So you might find that you're rocking around the back of your sacrum, getting really nice little movements there. Good. 2 more in this direction. And let's go the other way. So circling around the other way now. And you might find that your legs are completely different. You might have more movement in one hip than the other. And that's, again, completely normal. And then lengthen that leg away again. Let your feet flop to the side and glance up to see if there's any difference. So for me, again, now they're more balanced. My left toes are going out. So it's just interesting to see how that movement affects you. Okay, so now we're going to try and do this with a long leg. So with our leg extender, we've got a long lever to control, meaning that these corset muscles are going to have to work a lot harder. We're going to start, though, with our bands. So bringing that first leg in, wrapping the band around your foot, nice and wide, holding one end in each hand, extending the opposite leg away. And we're going to do very similar to before. So we're going to let that leg come across the center, away and around. So you're trying to draw a massive big circle with that foot. Keep your leg extended. Let your spine and pelvis move in reaction to what you're doing, but keep that opposite leg really active. So it's like an anchor for your body. So circling around. If you want to, you can try doing this without the band. But again, use the band to build up the strength through your hip and your core, because your leg, when it's extended, is quite a heavy weight. So having that band is really useful. Okay, so 6 in one direction, then we're going to go the other way. Circling around. Keep it nice and active. Remember, the other leg is active as well. Shoulders relaxed, jaw relaxed, and just breathing rhythmically and deeply, rather than with any set breathing pattern here. There. And one more, circling around, and then bring that knee in. And just take a few breaths with it brought in towards you, just to try and relax the muscles around your hips. So again, it's really important to work however suits you. So if that means using the band, that's fantastic. If you want to try it without the band, that's also great. Just listen to your body. Okay, so we're going to extend that leg away. And once again, see if there's any difference between your legs. Again, there is for me. And then we're going to go into the other leg. So I'm going to start with the band on this one. So try to get that band nice and wide around the back of your foot. It's going to prevent any circulation cutting off. The other leg is extended. And start drawing those big circles. Just breathing deeply, letting your pelvis and your spine move slightly in response to what you're doing. Just circling around. Pressing your foot into the band, trying to keep it as long as possible. And then if you want to, you can get rid of the band once you're familiar with the movement. Good. And one more time this direction. And let's reverse, going the other way. Good. Circling around. Try not to hit anything. At least that wasn't the flowers. Oops. And one more. And bring that leg down. Let your legs release there. Bring that knee in and hug it in towards you. And every time you breathe out, try to deepen that flexion of the hip joint ever so slightly. Good. Extending that leg once again, seeing if there's any difference. There might be. And then we're going to practice our roll-up. So hurrah, more deep core work. So if you want to, you can use your band. So I'm going to show you how to set yourself up. If you have a really deep lumbar curve in your spine, having a little cushion underneath there might be really beneficial for you. So it's just going to give you something to press your spine into as you come up to seated. So having that little cushion there could be really good. So if you need it, pop it underneath there. If you want to use the band, you can as well. So we're going to wrap that band around our feet and extend our legs. So keep your legs glued together. Really feel that they're nice and active. So really long legs, Holding the band in either hand, you're going to use that band to help you pull up. So you're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, nod your chin in, and then really try to imprint your spine one bone at a time and come up to sitting nice and smoothly. Keep your elbows wide. Sitting really tall, keep your shoulders down and back. And as you inhale, we're going to roll back down one bone at a time. So really try to release your spine down sequentially rather than in one long block. Bring your head down, breathe in. Breathe out, nod your chin in, reach your arms forward. Imprint your spine, come up to sitting. Now, if you need help with this and you have somebody handy, they can stand over you with their legs bent, knees bent, bottom sticking out, so they're really protecting themselves, hands extended, fingers pointing up, and you can grip that, and as you come up, they can just walk backwards to help you. So it's just a little bit of external help. That's actually really helpful for just getting yourself over that really tricky lump that you sometimes find. Now, if you think that you're really strong, you can pop the band to one side and try and do this without the band. And we have a different arm position for that. So we have our feet anchored to the floor, toes pointed towards the ceiling, arms back, core muscles switched on, ribcage not popping up, breathing in. As you breathe out, reach your arms up and over, nod your chin in, imprint your spine, and coming up. I'm finding it really hard today. And then reach towards your toes, sit up, and go back down, rolling down one bone at a time. Keep your chin tucked in, arms coming up and back, and breathe out. Imprinting your spine, keep your legs really long and heavy, reach your fingers towards your toes, rolling forward, restacking, and back down once again. We've got one last one to do. Arms going all the way up and back. Reaching your hands, nodding your chin. Remember, you can use the band. You've got that little cushion for support if you need it. Rolling towards your toes. Coming all the way back up. Bring your hands down. Bring your feet together. And find a really comfortable seated position for you. And taking a few breaths in and out here to release. So if you have any problems or any questions with roll-up, feel free to contact me. Remember, those props we can use include our band, the little cushion beneath your hand, your lumbar spine, or you can have somebody else giving you a bit of a little pull-up with their fingers if you need it. Okay, so next of all, we've got some really gorgeous sitting exercises to do before we go into some pelvic rock back. So it is a very core focus today. So find a position that suits you. If you need a little lift beneath your hips, grab your cushion and sit on that. Take your arms wide by your side, so ready for some lateral flexion. So we're sitting nice and tall. Piece of thread coming through the crown of our head, arms nice and wide, breathing in. As you breathe out, reach one arm all the way up, lifting up and over, out of your waist. Lovely side stretch. Inhale and float that arm down before going on the other side. Breathing out, arm coming all the way up. Reaching up and over. Restacking, arm coming down. Breathing out again, reaching up and over. Lovely flexion through your spine. Restacking and down. And again. So lovely lateral flexion, really important for our spine health. Great for training this core of muscle as well. Remember, we're going to keep our shoulders melting down the back of our rib cage throughout this movement. Down and all the way up. And over. Restacking. And down. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to add on a little bit of rotation as well. So we're going to reach up, can't stick, reach up and over, and then twist through our spine. So find that lovely neutral position once again, breathing in, breathing out, arm comes all the way up and over, and then rotate that top shoulder forwards. And you might feel a lovely stretch from the base of your spine and hip, all the way up through your fingers, restacking up, and take that arm down, going on the other side. Breathing out, arm coming up and over, reaching forward. So combine that lateral flexion with a rotation. All the way up and down. Good, going again. All the way up and over. Reaching through. Back to center. Up and down. And again, this should hopefully feel really gorgeous, especially after that series of 5s, opening out the back of your rib cage. If you have scoliosis, this should feel really lovely as well. Breathing out, up and over before reaching forward, rolling that top shoulder forward, getting that rotation through your spine. And down, keep your legs relaxed out to the side if you can. Stacking, and one more time, all the way up and over, reaching through that top arm. Restacking and down, and our last one. And over, reaching forward, restacking, and down. Well done. Okay, so still sitting nice and tall, feet sandwiched together in front of you. If this is really uncomfortable on your hips, you can bring your legs together and extend them. We go into our spine stretch forward prep before we go into our spine stretch forward. So imagine a massive big beach ball in front of you. You're going to come up and over into flexion. So nice and tall, toe muscles switched on. You should be able to sit nice and tall without using your arms to support you. Breathing in, breathing out, nodding your chin forward, lifting up and over. Toe muscles coming in as you roll forward. And then restack all the way up to the top, shoulders melting down. Let's go again. Breathing out, rolling forward. Restacking here. Shoulders coming down. Lovely. Going again. Breathing out, rolling forward. Restacking and down. We've got 2 more like this. Good, nice and smoothly. We're just preparing our spine for what we're doing next. Toe muscles coming in. Remember, you're not collapsing forwards. Coming all the way up. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to go into a proper spine stretch forward. So we're going to sit with our legs extended out in front of us, feet and knees hip distance apart, toes pointing up towards the ceiling. And again, have a little cushion if you need to. And a little bit of height can just find that lovely neutral spine and pelvis a bit easier. Okay, so we're going to hold our arms out at shoulder height. I'm going to roll forward and over just like before. So our arms are traveling towards our feet. So you breathe in, breathe out, nod your chin. Toe muscles coming in as you roll forward. Lovely flexion through your spine. Might feel a stretch on the back of your legs. And coming up, shoulders melting down. Breathing in, breathing out, nodding forward, rolling forward. Restacking. Okay, so to make this a little bit more challenging today, you can add in your hand weights. So you're holding the weights in your hands, breathing in, breathing out, nodding forward, rolling forward, 2 muscles supporting you, restacking and up. Good, let's go again. Breathing out, toe muscles coming in, restacking and up. Good. We have 3 more to go like this. Breathing in, breathing out, rolling forward, restacking down. So when you restack, it's really important to find that neutral position once again. Actually, we'll do 2 more here. Rolling forward, coming up. Good. And one last time. Rolling forward, restacking. Bring your arms down. Well done. And we're going to turn this into a saw now. So take your feet slightly wider than hip distance apart. We're going to start with our arms crossed over our chest. So we're going to do proper saw next week. So this time we're just practicing and doing the prep. So our feet are flexed once again. We have that lovely height through our spine. We're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, rotate to the side and then roll forward, bringing that shoulders towards the opposite knee. Keep your legs extended and long on the floor. Restack. Come back to center. So it's a really great control exercise. We're putting together all those elements that we have just practiced. And again, like with all the other exercises, you might find that one side is smoother and more flexible than the other. So restacking back to center. So we're rotating to the side, rolling forward, restacking and back, and again rotating, rolling forward, restacking and back. Good. Come to center. Bring your feet together. Get rid of any cushion, otherwise you're going to fall off it. And find a lovely seated position with your feet hip distance apart, knees at the ceiling, hands behind your thighs, going into our pelvic rock back. So we're going to breathe in. And as you breathe out, tuck your tail underneath you and start flexing through your spine and then hinging back. So your hands are just going to guide you here. So keep them behind your thighs. And then breastbone goes forward as you close your hips and come up. So we're rocking back even to get that flexion through our spine. So you've got a lovely flexed spine. And then you're opening out your hips. So make sure you use your glutes. If you don't use your glutes, it's really easy to grip too much through your thighs, and that might cause you some pain. So use your glutes to support you coming up again. So rolling back, opening out. Breastbone going forward and up. Good. 2 more here. Opening back. Going forward and up. Lovely. And our last one before we add in a bow and arrow. So this is where it gets complicated. It's a really nice compound movement that's going to get your coordination going, as well as those deep core muscles. So we're going to start with our arms extended out in front of us, shoulder height. If you want to make this even more challenging, you can grab your hand weights. I'm not going to do that today. So we have our arms out in front, breathing out to rock back. Still breathing out, pause in that rotation, pause in that flexion as you bring the elbow back and rotate through your body. Then inhale to open the arm out. Draw your arm back and come up. Let's go again. Breathing out to roll back. Pause with that roll back as you rotate through your spine and bring the elbow back. Open your arm out on the inhale. Sweep the arm back. Forward and up. So this time we're adding on a rotation and a chest opening whilst we're in that flexion. So it's quite loaded. So if you feel any pain through your spine or your core, just stick that pelvic rock back or just sit this out and have a rest. So let's go again. Breathing in, breathing out, rolling back. Pause here. Still breathing out. Open your chest as you draw the arm back. Opening, drawing back through. On the other side, opening, back through. And up. Good. Let's go one more time. We're rocking back. Elbow coming back. Opening the arm. Sweeping back through. And rocking all the way back up. Bring your feet together. And just resting forward here. Giving your spine and your core a bit of a rest. Then we're going to roll over our feet and come into our lengthened position down onto our fronts. So we're going to start with a really lovely diamond press. So just a great way to get our extension through our spine. So let your legs lengthen out behind you, hip distance apart. Elbows really wide, fingers and thumbs forming a diamond shape, forehead down. We're going to keep our arms on the floor and breathe in. As we breathe out, lifting up, back of neck going up towards the ceiling. Inhale to come down. Breathing out to lift up. Inhale to come down. Out to lift. Inhale to come down. And one more, coming all the way up. And lengthen down. So this time we're going to bring our arms up as well. So we breathe out, lift your arms up, extend your legs, keep them nice and long, back and neck going towards the ceiling, coming back down. So you're trying to keep your elbows level with your hands, And you might feel as well that you're adding a lot of load onto your spine. Coming down, good, we've got 3 more. Breathing out and in. Out and in. And we're going to rest down here. Take a few breaths in and out. You might already feel that you're really worked hard through your spine. We're going to add on one more variation. So this time we're going to add in like an arm extension. So after we've come up with our arms glued to our forehead, we're then going to open one arm out in a lovely reach and then open the other arm out and then come down. So you're going to rock. That doesn't make any sense. You're going to vary which arm that you extend first of all. So we're going to start with our head down, legs really active behind you, breathing in, breathing out, lift up, still breathing out, reach one arm out to the side, bring it back in, breathe out to stretch, in to return, and come back down. So we've added load onto our spine, especially as we lengthen the arm, it turns into a long lever, which if you think about physics, having a long lever means there's even more load for your spine to support. So it's really strengthening, great for your posture, great for helping strengthen the back of your neck, back of your spine, and keeping your shoulders nice and wide and open. So let's go again. So breathe in, breathing out to come up, extend the other arm, bring it back in. Keep your gaze going down towards the floor, keep the back of your neck long, lengthen down one more, good. And again, we're going to breathe out to lift up. Coming open with that arm, back in. Open with the arm, back in. All the time you're using your core muscles to support you. So even though it might feel like your back is working, you're also using the front of your body to maintain that lovely lifted position. Let's go again. Breathing in, breathing out to lift. Extend that arm, bring it back in. Extend the other arm, bring it back in. Lengthen down. We have one more like this. Breathing out to lift up. Extend back in. Extend back in, lengthening down, and relax here, taking a few breaths in and out. Awesome. So we're going to go into a dart legs. So keep your hands together. Your forehead is on the back of your hands. Toes come together, heels out to the sides. Now breathe in. As you breathe out, draw your heels together and lift your legs off the floor. Lowering down. So we're trying to get that movement coming from your hips rather than your knees. So keep your toes lengthened away from you. Draw your heels together and lift them. So your glute muscles should come together, coming in. Really lovely hip extension here. So it's really great to get that length and strength through the back of your legs. It's going to help keep your lumbar spine healthy and strong as well. Even though it might feel like all this work is coming from your legs and your glutes, you're also activating the muscles around that internal core set that support your spine. Lifting up. Good, we've got 2 more like this. Lifting all the way up, coming down. And 1 more, breathing out, lifting up, coming back down, and relax. Well done. Okay, so taking your legs slightly wider than hip distance apart now. Taking your toes out to the side, heels are in. Place your hands directly underneath your shoulders with your elbows pointing up. We're going to go into a swan prep. So hands beneath your shoulders, elbows up, forehead down, breathing in, breathing out. Push your nose away and then 1 bone at a time. Lift all the way up. Keep your elbows in towards you. Feel that lovely extension through your spine. Lengthen back down. Going again, breathing out. Push your nose away. All the way up. The muscles down the back of your spine should really extend. If you needed to, you should be able to lift your hands off the floor. Keep your elbows close in towards your spine. And coming down. Glute muscles switch on as you lift. And come down once again. We've got 2 more to go. And you might find that the more you do this, the easier it becomes and the higher you can lift as well. All the way up, good, and coming down. So now we've prepared, you're going to take our arms slightly further forward so that your hands are in line with your forehead, wider than hip distance apart. Take your nose away once again. We're going to come into a lovely cobra. So this time, extend your arms as you come up. Breastbone going forward, pause here. Lengthen back down, one bone at a time. Tuck your nose back under. Breathing out once again, coming all the way up. Breastbone going forward, arms extended. Lengthening down. Nose comes under. Pushing that nose away once again. All the way up. We're going to pause here. Lovely length. Let your shoulders melt away from your ears. Coming back down. And one more time. All the way up. And lengthen back down, one bone at a time. Press through your hands. Sit back over your heels. So send your bottom back. Take it nice and slowly. Take your knees apart and bring yourself down onto the mat. Forehead down if you can, or you can stack it on top of your wrists. And just let your spine and your hips relax. Breathing in and out here. Pressing yourself up through to sitting, coming around into whatever suits you best sitting wise. We're going to take 2 final breaths. So sitting nice and tall, arms out to the side, breathing in, breathing out, reaching all the way up and pressing the air away. And we're going to go one more time. Breathing out, reaching your arms up towards the ceiling or the sky if you're doing it outside, pressing your arms away and giving yourself a nice clap. Well done. That was a really intense class, so I hope that you enjoyed it and also found that you've got improved strength and coordination and control as we've done all these weeks at home. Let me know how you got on and if you had any problems. And I'll be back on Thursday. And if I don't see you then, I'll see you on Monday. So have a great week and keep in touch and take care. Bye-bye.